has teed it up, and we're just about set to get underway here. An NCC clash between Wynford Royals and the home team, Colonel Crawford Eagles. I believe the first drive is going to set the tone for this game, and we'll see what Colonel Crawford does. Last year they came out and tried to run the ball, and they were stopped completely by the Wynford Royals defense and lined up with an 8-man front. We'll see what happens this time around. I know Colonel Crawford has diversified their offense a little bit. Gray kicks it to Brian Siebert, and we got a penalty immediately. Must be an offside on the Royals. If so, they'll back it up 5 and kick it from the 35 instead of the 40.
Good break there for Colonel Crawford. They'll get better field position on this kickoff. Look in the backfield to return the ball. Brian Siebert, he's had one kickoff return so far this season for 20 yards, a 20-yard average.
Both these teams are so evenly matched when you're talking about defenses and offenses, near the top in their respective conferences. Of course, Colonel Crawford number 1 on defense, Wynford number 2, and on offense it's Colonel Crawford number 3, Wynford number 5. So very, very evenly matched ball teams.
Of course, Wynford's won the last 2 ball games. Colonel Crawford trying to stop that streak. Last year's game, the score 7-zip Wynford, and the year before that 13-10 Wynford. Both games a good struggle as we get the kickoff here again.
And it is going to Troy Schaber back on his 5-yard line. Backpedals 2 yards. Tries to go up the right side, up the middle now. And he'll return it out to the 25-yard line. And that is where the Eagles will set up on offense. They do so with senior Mark Robinson at quarterback, Kevin Friend at fullback, and Brian Siebert at the tailback spot. Jeff Dyer will be the wingback.
Mark Robinson, the quarterback, he has a 55.9% throwing average today, but we look for a ground game today from the rushing leaders, including Kevin Friend in the backfield.
And they line up in a shotgun formation. Robinson rolling to his right, throws it incomplete. Brian Siebert looked like he was the intended receiver.
Well, no sooner do I say there's going to be a running game here tonight, and they come out with a passing attack. I think Crawford's going to have a diversified attack tonight, Tony. If they're going to take Wynford, they're going to have to surprise them with passes.
And I believe the Royals on defense expecting that. They line up in their 52. Shane Sand, Tony Stover, the defensive ends. Rob Goodrich and Jim Cox, the tackles, and Dave Aubrey, the nose guard. At the 2nd and 10. Ball on a 24-yard line. In motion is Mickey Zweier. Robinson this time rolls to his left. Good pursuit by Dave Aubrey. He's got pressure on him. Robinson lets it go over the middle. It's picked off by Reinhardt, who gets it down to the 22-yard line. So Tim Reinhardt got the tip pass, and that's a big break for the Royals early in this ball game.
Credit should go out, though, to the Colonel Crawford front line. They sure did give Mark Robinson plenty of time to get away a pass. He just couldn't find an open receiver. Great coverage by Wynford, and they come up with the interception in great field position.
So the Royals start off on offense on the 23, 24-yard line, and it is Todd Redmond, the quarterback, Craig Schieffer and Shane Grove in the backfield. Schieffer off the left side. He gets a 5 or 6 on the first carry.
Good hole up the middle on that particular play. He's able to pull through for about the 5-yard gain. Good pushing by the offensive line of Wynford, getting him that territory where he could get into that secondary of Colonel Crawford.
Eagles send Mike Allspaw wide to the right. Shane Grove, or make that Tony Stover, stand up in the tight end spot. Second back through, it looks like Steve Schiff. He's going to be stacked up for a gain of maybe a half a yard by the left side of the Eagles defense.
Well, they just made up for that last play. They've shown they've got that tough line, shut him off right at the line of scrimmage, stood up the offensive players to get in and make that tackle.
Brings up a 3rd and 5. Ball on the 18-yard line of Colonel Crawford. So the Royals threatening here early after the big turnover. Mike Allspaw wide to the right. Colton Bayless split wide to the left. It's Grove and Schiff in the backfield. Here's pressure from the blind side. Redmond's going to be trapped for a loss. Ryan Sparks was back there, Chris Ford, and also Jeff Eckstein from his defensive end spot.
Well, Tony, as we said at the outset of the game, look for a defensive match here today. In terms of total defense, Colonel Crawford is number 1 in the league, Wynford number 2.
That's a loss of 7 on the play. So it brings up a 4th and 13, making a loss of 8. And the Royals have to go for it. Single set at Shane Grove. Mark Allspaw wide to the left. Bayless to the right. Straight drop back. Redmond to the flag and turned Bayless around. He had to do a 360. It was a pretty well thrown pass, but Bayless just couldn't hold on to it. It goes through his hands, falls incomplete, and the Eagles have stopped the Royals and will get the ball back.
This was really a nice pass. The quarterback there, Todd Redmond, didn't have much time. He had reasonable time, I should say, and laid it in there fairly nicely. The receiver trying to keep his feet in bounds, just couldn't grab it.
So the Eagles go back in offense. Kevin Friend, the right side, finds a big opening off the right tackle. He'll pick up maybe 7 or 8.
Kevin Friend has been a strong rusher for the Eagles this year. In 63 attempts, he's gained 283 yards. That's an average of 94.3 yards per game, and he also has 3 touchdowns to his credit already early in this season.
It's a 7-yard pickup, and it brings up a 2nd and 3. Ball on the 33. Single setback is Friend again. They go right side again, and up near the first down, up at the 35-yard line. He's got to go to the 37 for a first down, so we'll give him a pickup of 1.
Good hard running there, staying with the ground attack, which has worked this far this season for the Eagles.
Big play for the Eagles here on a 3rd and 2. Steve Ritzop comes in with the play. Jeff Carl split wide to the left, Dyer to the right. Twin backfield, quick pitch to Brian C. Hit immediately. And that was Shane Sand on his left defensive end position. Dropped Siebert for a loss.
Great penetration there by the Wynford defensive end. Came right in. Quarterback didn't stand a chance. Good job by the Wynford defense.
It's a loss of 4, and it brings up a 4th and 6, a punting situation. Chris Floor or Jeff Dyer in to do the punting. Back deep is Allspaw and Stuckey. And Stuckey fields it, fumbles it, and I believe Allspaw fell on it, so the Royals get the ball back and in good field position. We'll take a timeout, 7:24 on the clock. Our score is 0-0. We'll be back after this timeout. Well, the Royals send Allspaw wide to the right. Schieffer in the backfield, straight drop back. Over the middle is Redmond, and Shane Sand had it in his hand and couldn't hold on. There is a flag down. We might have defensive pass interference. We'll hold on and see what the indication is. It's an illegal man downfield for the Royals.
Beautiful pass in between the defenders on this particular play by the quarterback, Todd Redmond. He really laid it right on the numbers. Just a momentary lapse of concentration let that ball slip through, but even caught it would have come back and been for naught. As we have the ineligible man downfield. Boy, these teams are really fired up tonight, Tony. Both sides are just, you can see the adrenaline running in their faces even from up here in the broadcast area, and the intensity on the sidelines is just as much.
It's a loss of 5 and also a loss of down, so it brings up a 2nd and 15. Mark Allspaw wide to the right. Colton Bayless to the left. Twin set backfield. It's Schiff and Schaefer. Movement on the right side of the line, so Wynford is just moving back another 5.
Well, I think that's intensity we were just speaking of. When you get excited about a particular play, why, that's about the time that you begin to make errors. These kids are excited. This is an important game, as we see here on the replay. There's movement there on the right side of the line. These kids are fired up, and they want a victory here tonight. As they said, 2 good teams in the division. This game here could very well make the difference at the end of the season about who comes out in first place in the NCC.
So the Royals, faced with a 2nd and 20, send Allspaw and Bayless wide to the right. Redmond looking that way, tries to underthrow, and it's blocked by Chris Florer, unless it was... Maybe the ball just slipped out of his hand, but it's an incomplete pass.
Well, Redmond got buried on that particular play by Steve Ritzoff. Really laid a hit on him. I'm sure he's going to remember that number 81, for a while.
Third and 20 for the Royals. And a quick punt. It's a quick kick. Nobody back to defend, and it's going to be downed on the 27-yard line by Dave Aubrey, who hustled down from his center spot. So the Eagles will go back on offense from the 27, and so far it has been a defensive struggle. As we talked earlier in the game, the Royals have hurt themselves with penalties, of course, that backed up 10 yards in that series right there.
Yes, it has, and Wynford unable to capitalize on that interception on the second or third play of the game. But both sides basically playing in the middle of the field between the 30-yard lines.
The Eagles send Flock wide to the left. They go out, dive off the left side, and good second effort by Kevin Friend. Might have picked him up 1 or 2 on the carry.
It looks from here that Colonel Crawford is going to have to start to run some plays wide. They've tested that Wynford middle, and already the Royals have shut them off up the middle. And there's just no place to go there. They're going to have to try the outside and some short screen passes if they can possibly get them off.
A second down, they gave him 1 on the play, so it's a 2nd and 9. Brendan Siebert in the backfield, Dyer to the right. Robinson rolling that way. Back the other way over the middle, almost picked off by Craig Schieffer. Dyer was the intended receiver from the slot position.
I think that was a good play selection. That's what I was just referring to. Crawford has to open up those linebackers who have been shutting off the run up the middle. They've been helping the linemen. With that particular pass, you keep the linebackers honest, you keep them in the secondary, and it was not the best of throws, however, as the Wynford coverage was just superb.
Brings up a 3rd and 9 for the Eagles, who really haven't been too successful here on offense. Turned the ball over the first possession, 3 plays and a punt the second time. The big play for him here with Robinson handing off to Brian Siebert, and once again he is hit behind the line of scrimmage. Shane Grove trapped him up, knocks him back to the 35-yard line.
Well, here we see on the replay, the Colonel Crawford Eagles don't fool anybody, as Shane Grove just goes right through the middle guard and center to catch the runner right in the backfield, right in mid-stride.
It's a loss of 4, and it brings up a 4th and 12, a punting situation. Dyer just does, or Chris Floyd punting this time, gets it away.
Nice punt.
Fielded by Tracy Wren, who is wrapped up by a host of Eagles. Brian Siebert, one of them. So with 5:17 on the clock, the Royals will take over when we come back, and it's no score.
Hello, everyone. We're here on the downtown streets of Bucyrus to find out where people buy carpet.
I'd go to Dixieland Carpet. I'd go to Dixieland. I understand they've added a lot of new carpet lines and other floor covering. They have reasonable prices, and they are local.
They did work for me, and that's where I'd go back if I need new carpet.
Well, I'd go to Dixieland Carpet. They're right here in Bucyrus, and I've heard a lot of good things about them.
People shop at Dixieland Carpet, 1652 Whetstone Street, Bucyrus.
Everything you're looking for and more. Struble Drug. With lots of things for you to see. And medications for your family. With everything you're looking for. We're a drugstore and a whole lot more. Everything you're looking for. And more. Struble Drug.
Fall clearance sale is in progress at Nichols Furniture Showcase in Gallion and Marion. Stop in and shop the many bargains in the Broyhill Showcase Gallery. You'll find sofas for as low as $499. Bedroom suits starting at $699. Plus, all Broyhill open stock bedroom pieces in oak and maple and pine are now on sale. So be sure and shop Nichols Furniture in either Gallion or Marion, where you can save dollars with Nichols.
Welcome back to Gary Field. You see our time and our score, 4:59 now on the clock. Mike Allspaw wide to the right. A flare out to Steve Schemp, and a good defensive job by Troy Schauber.
Yes, 2 defensive men over on the Crawford side. That other player, Jeff Carl, Eric Sparks.
Eric Sparks, Troy Schauber.
And he picks up one on the play, so Schimpf with a gain of 1 brings up a 2nd and 9. 4:29, the clock is moving. Colton Bayless wide to the right. Schieffer in the backfield. Straight handoff dive, and it's a Mike Hall with a quick dive off the right side.
Yeah, quick opener over the guard position that time to get a few yards. Ground yards are coming tough tonight. That we can see that so far in this game. Whenever a running back gets that ball, the defense is usually right there to meet him at the line of scrimmage or even behind the line of scrimmage. We promised a tough defensive battle tonight, and we certainly are seeing it.
There you see the defensive lineman for the Royals with a 3rd and 4. Redmond accounted to Hall the left side, and that time Ryan Sparks stayed at home and wrapped him up right at the line of scrimmage.
Well, while we've been stressing the defense here tonight, on the total offense, Wynford has been struggling a little bit this season. In terms of total offense, as we take a look at the replay here, we interrupt. You'll see him coming in. See, there's nothing at that particular line. The defensive line of the Eagles just standing up the Wynford players.
And on a 4th and 4, the Royals punt, Steve Gray. And it's down and bobbled a little bit. Royals hang on. Tim Flock back there. So once again, the Eagles start off possession deep in their own territory at the 18-yard line, or 13-yard line, I should say.
If you had to give the edge here tonight in terms of offensive prowess, it would have to go with Colonel Crawford. They're averaging 263 yards in total offense a game. Not bad at the high school level. Wynford is struggling just a little bit. They average only 176.7 a game.
Robinson, a counter play to Siebert, and the Royals defense is there to step him out. Steve Gray was in there along with a whole host of Royals, and they dropped him for a 2-yard loss back to the 10-yard line. Call it a 3-yard loss, and it'll be a 2nd and 13.
Since we have such tough defenses here tonight, one of the things that may be crucial are the special teams. It could very conceivably happen that neither team is able to score because defenses are tough. So maybe it's going to be a punt return or maybe a wide open bomb pass that's going to win this game.
Quick pitch to the right. Brian Siebert gets a block. There's that big play you're talking about. Outside. Finally driven down by Colton Bayless.
This particular play has come just a little bit too late. You'll remember that I mentioned in the last series, Colonel Crawford is getting nothing up the middle. They need to run to the outside. They need to get those linebackers to move and meet them on the outside in the secondary. The linebackers have been centralizing on the middle, and we'll see here, you can see the linebackers lining up, going in right in towards the line. Now they're getting pulled. You see the pulling guard. He's able to block out one linebacker, and that's enough to spring him into the secondary of the defense as we come back to live action.
And Mark Robinson rolling to his right. Throws it incomplete, and there's a flag down. Dave Aubrey was hot on his heels. As a pickup of 25 by Brian Siebert on that quick pitch to the left side. And it's a legal man downfield, an ineligible man downfield. That'll back him up 5, and they'll lose a down as well, so to bring up a 2nd and 15. Unless Wynford, of course, declines the penalty. Let's wait for the official's indication.
I think they're going to take the penalty. I think they'd be foolish not to. You can back Crawford up even more. You can get him up back there 5 more yards. Yardage is going to be hard to come by tonight. Anytime you can get yardage taken away from the other team, I think it's a better move than taking the play.
So as I said, a 2nd and 15. In with the play is Jeff Carl as the Eagles, like the Royals, have hurt themselves early here with penalties. They've got Siebert in front in the backfield. Carl sent wide to the right, Dyer in the slot. Left side, that's Siebert, a big hole. He's going to get near first down territory. That's a gain of 10. Out to the 43-yard line.
Brian Siebert has done everything for Colonel Crawford here today, as we'll see on the replay. He's attempted 31 rushes this year for 125 yards, an average of 4 yards a carry, and this is why. He's able to get through the line of scrimmage quickly. Strong legs, he can get out there in 1 or 2 steps to the line of scrimmage and then quickly into the secondary. He has very good speed.
14-yard pickup brings up a 3rd and 1 for the Eagles. Robinson with the option, rolling to his right. Siebert's out there, flare, and it's complete. Siebert down the right sideline, moves it into Royals territory.
Brian Siebert doing an excellent job getting out. He's done everything in the drive for Colonel Crawford Eagles this particular drive. He's a senior, a 6'1" and 180-pound senior, and he's playing like he's about 220, getting out of the backfield quickly and really meeting those defenders and not going down easily on the tackle.
Siebert, a very versatile back, and 14-yard pickup moves it down to the 41-yard line of the Royals. 1:04 left on the clock. First completion for Mark Robinson, by the way. His friend goes up the middle.
Well, the play selection for the Eagles is getting a little better now. You're getting up the middle, outside, short passes. They're mixing it up a lot more, and they're making Wynford play a better defense and be honest in terms of those linebackers.
Kevin picks up 2 on the carry, brings up a 2nd and 8. Ball is on the 40-yard line. 37 seconds. Might get one more play off before the first quarter. And the Eagles are diversifying their offense a little bit more. Schauber in the backfield. Jeff Dyer split wide to the left. In motion, and we're going to get a flag. And it's a delay of game indicated against the Eagles, so it'll back them up.
Yeah, that's something that both teams cannot afford tonight. Penalties have hurt both sides. They've had about an equal number of penalties, it seems to me, for yardage. Just when they seem to get a drive going, if the other side's defense is starting to tire just a little bit, the offensive team has been hurting themselves with penalties. And I'm sure the coaches will have something to say about that in the locker room at halftime.
Moves the ball back to the 46 of Wynford. A 2nd and 13, 21 seconds left on the clock here in the first quarter. And it's Siebert, the lone setback. Schauber in the slot. Dyer split wide to the left. Robinson rolling that way. Good pressure by Shane Grove. Misses him. Throws it over the middle, and it was too high, intended for Jeff Dyer, just overthrown as Robinson had a tough time rolling to his left and throwing on the run.
Absolutely. That is tough for anybody at the high school, college, or professional level to roll to your left and throw off your right hand and throw out to the receiver. He made a good attempt on that, but the ball just wobbled off his hand, which usually happens. It is that tough of a pass, and pretty much up for grabs. He was pretty fortunate the Wynford players' defense did not come up with that.
The Royals are getting excellent pressure on the defensive line. Dyer split to the left. Single setback is Kevin Friend. Robinson rolling to his right, and an excellent hit, almost picked off by David Karcher, as him and Steve Schiff almost went for the, they tried to go for the interception and collided with each other. Ball fell incomplete. It brings up a 4th and 13 with 9 seconds left on the clock here in the first quarter. Still no score. And the Eagles send Chris Floor back to do the punting. Tracy Wren back deep for the Royals. Punt is away. Wren lets it bounce in front of him. And it's down inside the 14-yard line, looks like from here. As the first quarter comes to an end with our score, Wynford nothing, Colonel Crawford nothing. We'll be back with the second quarter right after this timeout. Welcome back to Gary Field. Our first quarter score is 0-0. The Royals setting up on offense on the 14-yard line deep in their own territory, as Colonel Crawford on defense has Craig Schieffer trapped in the backfield. He's going to lose a half a yard. An excellent job by the right side of the Royals defense.
Well, we said at the beginning of tonight's broadcast that both defenses were tough. On the ground, Colonel Crawford has had 89 rushes against them for 174 yards. That averages out to 2 yards a carry. Here, Colonel Crawford Eagles don't even allow 2 yards as they meet the runner at the line of scrimmage. In fact, they've only given up 58 yards per game on the ground. Excellent defense by the Eagles.
Second down and a long 10. Redmond rolling to his right, and it's complete by Colton Bayless, who is finally brought down by Jeff Dyer and company. Mickey Zwire back there as well. And it's a big play.
Fantastic reception. Beautiful reception there by Colton Bayless. He has had 2 touchdowns already this year and is the leading scorer for the Wynford Royals.
It's a 28-yard pickup. Ball is down to the 42-yard line. 43 looks like from here. And a 1st and 10 for the Royals. The first big play for them in the game, and Colton Bayless did a good job of going up for that ball.
That's his 4th reception this season. To date, he's averaged 6.7 yards on the reception. That's going to help his average.
Second man through. Still on his feet is Mike Hall. That's a good effort by the 5'4", 140-pound senior.
Mike Hall has not rushed the ball that often this season so far. He's rushed only 14 times, but he's been able to manage 4.9 yards a carry. Not a bad average.
That's an 8-yard pickup. And second down and 2. The ball is just down the 50-yard line inside Crawford territory as we get a shot of the Colonel Crawford defense. And movement on the line. Let's see who it was. Was it Wynford or was it Colonel Crawford?
Well,
and it's a legal procedure against the offense, so Wynford will back up 5 more.
Penalties again here as we watch on the replay on the penalty. Wynford getting a good drive going at this point. The pass to Bayless setting up a good opportunity around midfield, and Wynford getting hurt again by another penalty. The adrenaline's still flowing in these boys out there. This means a lot to them.
It's a 2nd and 7. Ball back on the 45-yard line as the Royals send both Allsballs, Mike and Mark, wide to the left. They go to Hall on the right side. I'll make that John Seif.
Well, Wynford's going to have to do the same thing that Colonel Crawford attempted in their last series, and that is to diversify their plays a little more. They're going to have to try to go wide and open up that offense against this fine defense for the Eagles.
Picks up 2 on the play. It's a 3rd and 6. The Eagles defense has gotten stingy when it's gotten into their territory. Bayless and Allsball wide to the left. Redmond will roll that way, lets it go. Schimpf has it completed. Steve Schimpf back off an injury, and he's a vital cog to this Wynford Royals offense and defense.
So that's the kind of diversity they need. That time the linebackers looking for another run on the ground. On 3rd and 6, it could have been a draw or an outside run, but instead they go with a nice flare pass. Good coverage by the Eagles, but nonetheless, it was a nice pass on the numbers by the quarterback for Wynford, Todd Redmond.
It's a 9-yard pickup, and the ball is on the 45-yard line of Colonel Crawford. Schimpf and Grove in the backfield. It's an option play. Redmond keeps it, cuts up, and it's hit by a host of Eagles.
Option play, difficult to run. Quarterback having to make the option. Does he keep or does he pitch it out? I think he made the correct choice on there. Had a nice hole which was closed up quickly by the Colonel Crawford defense.
They give him a 3-yard pickup on the carry. Brings up a 2nd down and 7. Ball on the 42 of Colonel Crawford. Redmond rolling to his right. Nothing open, and then finally does let it go, and it's incomplete. Mike Allsball, the intended receiver, number 6. Redmond, I think, just kind of threw that one away. Is good coverage by the Eagles secondary.
Best drive of the half for Wynford at this point. Using the different plays, they're getting good 3rd down plays, really, out of this group. They're not getting much yardage on that 1st and 2nd down. So Todd Redmond leading this team, getting them out of some tough situations. Let's see if they can do it this time.
Schimpf and Schieffer in the backfield. They send Mark Allsball in the slot. Mike Gall's ball wide to the right. Ball is tipped and incomplete. So Mike Gall's ball was the intended receiver, almost like a crisscross out there. Brings up a 4th and 7.
Well, a good punt here will keep the Eagles deep in their own territory.
Steve Gray in to do the punting. Back deep is Troy Schaubert.
Steve Gray has been able so far this season to punt 15 yards coming into tonight's game for a 30-yard average. Not bad for high school.
Schaubert gets it on the roll, cuts up the right side, now back to the left and back to the right, and is wrapped up deep in the own territory. Looks like John Funk, number 64, back there to make the tackle.
Great pursuit by Funk. He just stayed right with the runner as he was moving laterally, didn't give up a step, stayed right on his tail and brought him down from behind.
David Karcher made the tackle. Ball is on the 5-yard line, so the Eagles once again pinned deep in their own territory.
They've got to be careful here. They don't make the mistake of throwing an interception. Look for them to keep it on the ground.
And they do with Friend off the right side. Breaks through the initial line of scrimmage and is brought down by Colton Bayless and Shane Grove.
What tough yardage from Friend. He just kept moving ahead despite having 2 and 3 people hang on him. A 4.5-yard average carry for Friend. He's going to see the toughest game he's had this season tonight. Wynford with that tough defense. But Friend, in the first 3 games, able to maintain a 94-yard per game average. So if he can get a good game out of it tonight, which is probably unlikely with the Wynford defense, maybe he can get a 100-yard per game average this season.
They send Dyer in motion to the left. Friend and Siebert in the back, but we got a flag down. A quick pitch to the left with Kevin Friend, who gets some yardage out of it, but I think it's going to be called back with flag on the play. It might be illegal motion. As I said, Dyer was in motion to the left. It was a 2nd and 4. The ball was on the 11-yard line. Talking to Wynford, Tony Stover, the captain of the defense. So I believe they're going to call this one back.
Well, this is going to make a long 3rd down for the Eagles. As we see, was he going to step it off there?
And it is illegal motion on the Eagles. Backs them up 5. Brings up a 2nd down and 9.
That hurts the Eagles
on the 6-yard line.
That hurts the Eagles. Now they have a 2nd and 9 situation. Friend getting that good running attack going early, or here in the second, well, I should say midway through the 2nd quarter. Just when things look to be going good, the Eagles have hurt themselves with a penalty.
Dyer in motion once again to the left. And it goes Siebert left side, and he might pick up 1 or 2 at the most. Tony Stover, Dave Aubrey in on the tackle. So Brian Siebert on the counter play.
This next play is going to be a do or die. 3rd and 7. You're deep in your own territory. You sure don't want to pass. If you pass it, it's got to be right on the numbers. I would look for Crawford to go with some sort of sweep like they had on the penalty play. Look for him to go wide and try to break the running back open.
Kevin Friend, a single setback. Robinson, the quarterback, to send Dyer wide to the left. And it is an off-tackle play left side. Kevin Friend, just a straight dive. It's going to pick up some yardage. Let's see if he's near 1st down. We can't tell from here.
Excellent running by Friend.
And it is a 1st down.
That shows some true grit when you're deep in your own territory on a 3rd and long like that. Giving it to Friend.
Picked up 8 yards, just enough for the 1st down.
Really kept his legs moving. That comes from good coaching and good training. Excellent run by Friend.
Straight throw to the right side. It's a backfield screen to Brian Siebert. Breaks a couple of tackles. Good effort by a senior tailback. Steve Schimpf with the tackle.
That particular play caught the Royals off guard. It's really a gutsy play to call in this particular situation because you're throwing laterally out there to the flanker, and it could easily be picked off by a player who's alert, a cornerback, and run in for a touchdown. So a good surprise play there by the Eagles.
Well, it's a 9-yard pickup for the Eagles and brings up a 2nd and 1, ball on the 25-yard line. Friend, the single setback. Robinson hands off to Friend, the left side. He's got a first down as he forward progress to about the 27-yard line. Should be enough for first down. Let's see what the referees indicate. And it is a first down.
As this game has progressed through this particular half, we've seen both offenses starting to get their act together. They've been moving the ball, although not the full length of the field. They've been able to get 30, 40-yard drives out of their offense. So in the second half, we should see a little better game from the offensive side.
Tim Flock comes in with a play, a 1st and 10, ball on the 28-yard line. And they send Dyer wide to the right, Siebert in the slot. Robinson rolling to his right, got pressure, deep downfield, and overthrows everybody. Steve Ritzoff, the tight end, was the intended receiver. Back deep onto coverage was Steve Schiff and also Mike Hall.
He was swarmed. There were 3 defensive members for the Royals back there in deep coverage. He really didn't stand a chance to catch that particular ball. The fans, and there's Mike Cawley, I'm sure he thought there was some interference there, but there was no way that he could have caught that ball. It was overthrown by 10 yards. Good, strong throw, as a matter of fact, from Robinson, the leading quarterback in the NCC.
Second man through is Kevin Friend, and he's going to be wrapped up.
Number 42, Friend.
By Tim Reinhardt and company.
Attending number 51, Reinhardt.
Great offensive play calling in this series of downs for a sustained drive for the Eagles. Run it up the middle, throw the long ball, throw short passes out to the flankers and the wingbacks. Great play selection. It's confusing the Royals, but they've been hanging tough defensively.
It's a 2-yard pickup, brings up a 3rd and 8. 4 minutes on the clock. It is winding. Tim Flock wide to the right. If you want to call it the short side of the field. Robinson to Dyer out in the flare area, in the flat area, I should say, and he's going to be short of a first down, looks like, from here.
Number 26.
Great reception on that play. He was met the moment he hit, or that he caught the ball. He was popped and brought down immediately for only a 6-yard gain. The cornerback right on that play.
A 4th and 1, and the Eagles are going to punt it away as they send Chris Floor in. Back deep for the Royals, Tracy Wren. And he goes off the field. Instead, it's just Alspaugh. Floor with a nice spiral to the left side. Mark Alspaugh will field it at his 29, cuts upfield, and is hit and dropped at the 35, and we have a flag down.
Chris Floor's punt, fielded number 26, Hall.
Well, Alspaugh so far. I'm sorry, Tony, go ahead.
Couldn't see what the penalty was.
Well, Alspaugh so far this season has returned 2 kicks for 40 yards, a 20-yard average. And this one they're going to call back. They're going to make the Eagles punt it again. A very nice punt. The Eagles got a very nice roll on that ball on an end-over-end.
Well, I think it's going to be marked off against Wynford. It might give him a first down. And it does. It's a 15-yard. It must be unsportsmanlike conduct.
Boy, what a break for the Eagles.
There's a call, and I'm looking at my chart, and I don't see any indication of what that means, so I'm going to have to assume it's unsportsmanlike conduct because it's a big 15-yarder and a first down for the Royals.
Wow. That could prove to be very costly to the Royals. We've got 3 minutes here left in the half. Eagles on a good drive now. Stays alive.
Kevin Friend loses the ball. Let's see if he fell on it. Can't tell by...
I think they retained it.
Looked like Ryan Sparks fell on it. Number 54.
Recovered by Ryan Sparks.
And it's a loss of 1. Brings up a 2nd and 11.
Oh,
yeah, I guess the word from underneath is it was 12 men on the field. Kevin Friend, the running back on that play, loses 1, brings up a 2nd and 11, ball right near midfield. Oh, and there's movement by the right side. That's tight end Steve Ritzoff.
And he knew it. The minute he took the step, he turned around, he had jumped off sides. That's too bad because the Eagles were given the new life with the penalty, and now they turned around and hurt themselves.
2:21 left on the clock here in the second quarter, and it is illegal procedure against the Eagles. That'll back them up 5. Ball is down to 45-yard line. Kevin Friend is taking a step back. Tim Flock and Dyer to the right. Quick pitch to Kevin Friend, tries to cut outside, does, and is driven out of bounds as he got off outside the end. And that's
Kevin Friend, the ball carrier, defending number 51, Reinhardt.
that's a pickup of 8 on the play.
Eagles have found ways to stay alive, amazingly.
So the ball is on the 47-yard line of Wynford, and it brings up a 3rd and 9.
Just when they've been on the down and out, they've come up with a big play from Friend every time. The senior is proving to be quite an asset to the Eagles tonight.
It's Siebert in the slot. Dyer wide to the left. Robinson rolling that way. Shane Grove has him wrapped up. Fumble on the play, and I think Colonel Crawford recovered it. Let's see who fell on it. Get a number there. Ryan Sparks again, number 54.
Great penetration that time by the Wynford defense, as we see here on the replay. Lining up, and watch for Sparks, watch right through. He shoots the gap in between the tackle and the guard, and is able to pull down the receiver, or pull down the quarterback.
So the Eagles will once again have to punt. Tracer Wren back deep, and it goes out of bounds at the 33-yard line. So he won't have the opportunity to return it, and with 1:24 on the clock, there is still no score. We'll take a timeout, and we'll be back right after these.
Bill's TV and Appliance is celebrating 40 years of serving Crawford and surrounding counties. Since 1947, we've strived to satisfy you, our valued customers, with all your TV and appliance needs. To help celebrate this special occasion, you can buy this 13-inch diagonal RCA XL100 color TV with automatic color and automatic fine-tuning. It was $269.95, now only $174. Because of you, we're Crawford County's #1 choice TV and appliance firm. Come celebrate our 40th anniversary at Bill's TV and Appliance at the east edge of Bucyrus, or 1/2 block west of the Public Square in Uptown Gallion.
Keim Lumber of Bucyrus has just what you need to get that home of yours ready for the exciting months ahead. It's called paint, a special kind of paint called Kerfee's Colorizer. Give your home a fresher, newer look now. It's easy to do with Kerfee's Colorizer paints from Keim Lumber in Bucyrus. Kerfee's interior latex flat wall paint was tested against the top national brands for coverability, scrubability, and lasting ability. The results, Kerfee's judged best overall. As a matter of fact, no paint covered old paint better than Kerfee's. To see Kerfee's assortment over 1,000 colors, stop at Keim Lumber, 208 North Lane, Bucyrus.
There's a good shot at some of the faithful here at Gary Field. It's a chilly night. It was a beautiful day, clear night, and temperatures getting down to the 40s tonight, and big Shane Grove breaks a quick hitter to near the 42.
Well, time's running down. There's only about 1 minute and 10 seconds on the clock. Wynford needs to go for broke here. They've got nothing to lose. They should come out. They should pass long, try to get a breakaway play.
Otherwise, we're going to go into the locker room scoreless at half. They've got Bayless and Allspaw to the left. They give it to Grover again. He breaks it again, runs over his own man, and is finally brought down in the Eagles secondary. Kelsey Kogi, the linebacker.
And they take a timeout. As we see here on this play, of course, the Eagles looking for that long ball, thinking of the throw, and that's setting up the running play. But even though he's getting decent yardage, it's not enough yardage to put him in a position where they can strike and score. They're going to have to start passing from here if they want to go into the locker room ahead. And they are.
Straight drop by Redham. He's under pressure, and he's going to be dropped. Ryan Sparks and Chris Floor wrapped him up behind the line of scrimmage, and Floor does his Mark Gastineau imitation. And that might be the final play of the half, as 17 seconds on the clock.
Well, we'll see here on the replay. Colonel Crawford sends in 2 or 3 men just to nail him. He's dropping back. He doesn't have any time. Boom. He goes down.
Floor got him low, sparks high, and it drops him for a 7-yard loss. And it brings up a 2nd and 17. Royals do call a timeout. So we will take a timeout with 19 seconds on the clock. We'll be back.
The SharpFax SF9550 produces 50 clear, crisp copies in a minute. Its trimming function allows you to reproduce a portion of the original. It's a color copier. It offers a variety of features, including reduction, enlargement, zoom, automatic duplexing, and dual-page functions. In short, it's a full duplicating system as easy to operate as child's play. See it today at Beaver Office Products, Bucyrus, Marion, Mansfield, Findlay, and Fremont.
Well, after the 7-yard loss, it brings up a 2nd and 17. Ball is on the 42-yard line of Wynford. They send Colton Bayless and Allspaw to the right, and Steve Fowler from his defensive tackle spot dropped Redmond for another loss. And the Eagles defense really has come to the test, as has the Royals, as our clock winds down, and we'll take a look at the replay.
We'll see here on the replay. The quarterback doesn't stand a chance as he comes streaking straight through. He was not even touched.
It's a loss of 8, and our halftime has come upon us with no score. Colonel Crawford and Wynford play to a scoreless first half tie. We'll be back with the halftime stats and entertainment right after these.
Hi, I'm Chuck Hesse of Bill Hesse Insurance, and today I'd like to invite you into our agency. 1970, Bill Hesse, my father, established this business on dependable service and affordable pricing. Since then, we've come to where we are today, with a staff of 3 full-time employees trained to answer any questions or service any needs you may have. Since Dad's passing in January, we have gone through some changes, still keeping in mind dependable service and affordable pricing. Come, let us be your agency. Representing United Ohio and Ohio Mutual and several other major companies, we pledge the best possible coverage for the best possible price. Thank you.
I just graduated from high school and I'm ready to take that first big step to joining the world. One of my major decisions is buying a car. Let's face it, I'm not a millionaire, so I have to look for a dealer who will be able to give me a price that I can afford, and a dealer who can help guide me into finding a car that fits my needs. And you know, I'm probably like a lot of you. I don't know very much about cars, so I need to find a dealer who is capable of giving me quality service if I should ever need it. I've been told life is full of making decisions, important ones, and buying a car is an important decision. I feel confident that I have chosen a reputable dealer offering trusted automotive names, services that can't be denied, and prices affordable to everyone. My decision is with Jack Steele Ford, Route 309, East Edge of Gallion.
Welcome back to the third quarter of action here at Gary Field between the Colonel Crawford Eagles and the Wynford Royals. No score heading into the second half of action. And Eckstein tees it up and kicks it off, make that Steve Ritzoff. Gets by Colton Bayless, picks it back up, and is dropped by Kelsey Kogi at the 20-yard line. So that is where the Royals will start up on offense to begin the third quarter, and Redmond is the quarterback.
What a great defensive struggle we've seen between these two teams in the first half. As we got to the end of the first half, both teams were able to establish a minimal offense. Minimal meaning they were able to move it almost 40 yards at most. We should see a little bit more offense this half as the team's defenses begin to tire.
John Seif and Shane Grove in the backfield. They give it to Grove, left side, and he's hit immediately by Steve Fowler.
Well, they make a liar out of me. Stopped right at the line of scrimmage. Colonel Crawford Eagles coming out fired up from the halftime chat with the coach.
It's a gain of 1, pick up a 2nd and 9. Ball just down the 20-yard line. And the Royals send Mike Allspaw wide to the right in the slot. Colton Bayless to the left, straight drop back, quick hitter to Tony Stover, and it's picked off by Mickey Zwayer. A big break for the Colonel Crawford Eagles, pass was thrown just a little bit high. Tony Stover couldn't catch it. Right into the hands of Mickey Zweyer, who leads the league in interceptions.
Here we see on the replay, quarterback dropping back for a quick hitter, just throws it a little high off the receiver's hands and right into Zweyer's hands. Beautiful interception there. Zweyer on the season coming into tonight's game has 3 interceptions for 130 yards.
One of those was for a touchdown, and it's a 1st and 10 from the 19-yard line for the Eagles. Single setback is Kevin Friend. They hand the ball to him right side, and he's going to pick up 4 or 5 on the carry.
Tony, let me correct you on one thing. Zweyer's had 2 interceptions for a touchdown this season, and if that pass had not been down the middle, Zweyer would have probably run that one into the end zone. A good run back on the interception nonetheless.
Tony Stover in on the tackle. It's a gain of 4, so it brings up a 2nd and 6. Siebert is in the slot. Dyer wide to the left. Friend is single setback. Tight end is Steve Ritzoff. They go right side again. That time the Royals defense does an excellent job. Tony Stover
Crawford is
in there along with
Colonel Crawford, smelling some blood now down near their own goal line. They are going to try to punch that ball in. I would look on the 3rd down play, either a pitch out or a short pass. That would catch Wynford off guard, I think. So let's try to see if we can't get that play. Wynford's going to be tough up the middle on the run, and you're in good position at this particular time for a field goal attempt. So let's see if they go for the quick striker in the end zone.
They send Tim Flock in with the play. They line up 2 tight end offense. Siebert in the slot. Dyer to the left. Friend a single setback. And it's a fake, and trapped in the backfield. Didn't fake anybody, especially David Karcher, who dropped Robinson for a 9-yard loss.
Well, Tony, as we'll see, the Royals put 2, 4, 6, 8 men on the line, and that's all it took, as the tight ends were not enough on the line to keep the Wynford Royals out of the backfield. What a clutch play. And we'll have to see here if they're going to go for the field goal or if they're going to try to go for the 1st down. They've got 13 yards to go.
Well, they want to talk things over, so they call a timeout. It's a 4th and 12, 4th and 13, make that ball on the 22-yard line. So with 8:58 left in the 3rd quarter, we have a timeout on the field. No score. We'll be back. Well, Jeff, we talked about defensive struggles. It certainly has been one. Here are their first half stats. Colonel Crawford, 61 yards on the ground, 6 through the air, while Wynford, -3 on the ground due to a number of quarterback sacks on Todd Redmond and 38 yards through the air. It is a 4th and 13, and the Eagles are going for it. Jeff Dyer in the slot. Flock to the right. Straight drop back. Karcher, pressure. It's a screen. Set up tight end screen to Ritzoff. He gets outside. Aubrey with an excellent job. Drops him short of a 1st down. And the Royals will take over possession on the 13-yard line, and credit Dave Aubrey with an excellent job. He came in from his nose guard position, spotted the screen, and hustled to corral Ritzoff from behind.
Great play call, too. I think that had Wynford fooled. It sure had everybody in the crowd fooled. A screen play was the least likely of plays to be run in that particular play on a 4th down because it was a short pass.
John Seif, left side, second back through. He'll pick up 3 on the play.
And a screen pass isn't the type of pass that's going to be long enough to get you all that yardage of 13 yards. So great play calling. It caught Wynford off guard. Had the Wynford player not been able to grab him from behind, I think he would have been off and down the sidelines and possibly into the end zone.
And now the Eagles back on defense with a 2nd and 8 for the Royals. It's a 6-2 formation on defense. Todd Redmond with Shane Grove in the backfield, straight up the gut. Grove will pick up 4.
This is going to be an important series here for the Royals. They've got to move the ball out of their own territory. Even if they get 3 downs and about 8 yards, they're going to have to punt it away and get it out of their own territory and try to keep more of a balance towards midfield to make up for that interception.
So it's a 3rd and 5, and the ball is on the 20-yard line, just inside the 20-yard line. Bayless to the left. They give it to, it's an option play. Good fake by Todd Redmond. still on his feet. Gets out to the 28-yard line. It's an 8-yard pickup and a first down.
Todd Runman really picked the hole that time. It was wide open for him. Excellent blocking by the Wynford offensive line. He could have pitched it out, or he could have kept. Either way, I think they would have gotten about the same amount of yardage. He chose to keep it, turned it upfield. Excellent play by Todd Redman.
They send the Allspaw brothers to the right. Mark and Mike in the backfield is Shane Grove, along with John Seif. There's a pitch to Grove on the option play, and tripped up. Nice defense by Kelsey Kogi from his left linebacker spot. Came up and grabbed him around the ankle and tackled him for a 1-yard gain.
Even though the Royals got caught on that particular play, I think it's a wise move to the outside. As I've said earlier in the first half, and I'll continue to say, there's nothing up the middle. These are two excellent defensive teams, and the only way you're going to break this game open, and it is going to take an exciting play to win this game, I believe, you're going to have to run to the outside and throw short passes.
Redman, second back through is John Seif on the counter play. Doesn't get too much as Ryan Sparks is there, along with Kelsey Kogi and Chris Floor.
Well, 3rd and 9. Wynford's done a good job of moving that ball out of their own territory. Even if they have to punt it away, they're still going to be sitting all right. Crawford, even on a punt, should we go to 4th down, is going to be somewhere around their 35, 40-yard line. So Wynford offense really doing a good job of getting back and getting even for that interception they gave up earlier.
It's a gain of 2. It brings up a 3rd and 7 for the Royals, who send Allspaw to the right. It's a power sweep, and Schaefer cuts in and is hit immediately by
Number 41, Schaefer carries the football.
Eric Sparks.
Defending Jeff Eckstein.
And Jeff Eckstein, the defensive end, so it brings up a 4th and call it a long 7. Steve Gray back to do the punting. Back deep for the Eagles is Troy Schauber.
Steve Gray averaging 30.8 yards a punt. Let's see if he can get a good one away here. Oh, and he does. Nice punt.
Off to the left side. It's not going to get too much distance on it as
Gray's punt down by number 80, Flock.
Tim Flock falls on it. And the Eagles back on offense. This game is second half is shaping up the same way it did the first half. Colonel Crawford, a quick turnover. Royals couldn't capitalize because of great defense. Colonel Crawford gets a turnover to begin the second half, and they can't capitalize because of great defense by the Royals. And we anticipated a great defensive battle, and that's exactly what we have. As Kevin Friend is a lone setback, Robinson rolling to his left. He's got pressure. Steve Gray in his face. Completes it down the left sideline. And Brian Siebert from the back spot.
A long hitter thereby, and they're going with no huddle. They're going to try to surprise the
15-yard
defense.
pickup. And Colonel Crawford going without a huddle. They pitch it right to Kevin Friend, who's trapped up immediately by Steve Schimpf.
Well, a good move by the Eagles and not allowing the Royals to get an opportunity to set their defense. Unfortunately, the play here, you'll see, goes a little wide. Excellent pursuit there by the lineman and the cornerback for the Royals.
Double shift by the Eagles, who roll to the left, and it's going to be a legal motion. And Dyers, the intended receiver, has it caught. Unfortunately, I think it's going to come back on the 25-yard line. There's Steve Gray, who got up a little bit slowly after that. And another Royals player down. It might be. Well, we'll wait and see. And I believe it's going to be a legal motion. You're allowed to send 2, but I think one has to set. And they were both in motion when the play was called, and that's what it is, a legal motion. So nullifies a big gainer. And we still have a player down on the field. With 3:40 in the third quarter, we'll take a timeout. Still no score. It's a 2nd and 13 when we come back.
Wow, look what they've done to Sweats.
see all the things we can do with sweats. Tees to Tuxes carries sweats in 13 sizes and 19 colors. But hurry, they're going fast, because from casual to class, it's Tees to Tuxes in downtown Bucyrus.
Convenience and trust from First Citizens National Bank of Upper Sandusky. Strength through service and nearby branches such as the Nevada branch, the Church Street branch with drive-in service. Do all of your banking from the seat of your car. Stop and meet the friendly folks who are ready to help you with any of your banking needs. Auto loans, real estate, student loans, checking, or savings. Meet Nevada branch manager Tom Russman. Talk to any of the friendlies at the North Sandusky Bank, West Wyandotte, West Church, or Nevada branch of the First Citizens National Bank of Upper.
Mike Hall was the injured Wynford player, and he got off on his own power, so that's good to see. It's a 2nd and 19 after the 5-yard penalty. In motion is Brian Siebert to the left. The Eagles on the 41-yard line. Robinson going down the left sideline to Dyer again, and incomplete. Ball was tipped in the air. Colton Bayless back on coverage, along with Steve Schiff. But Dyer almost came up with the big play there.
What an exciting play. Dyer going downfield. And we'll see on this replay, the Wynford players played the ball a little bit too short. As we see Mark Robinson rolling out here. And he lets that baby rip. It comes down right there. Oh, it's tipped up in the air. He just can't quite come down with it. Had he may have been able to get to his feet and into the end zone, but no such luck for the Eagles on this try.
Single setback with Dyer and Siebert now in motion to the right. Dyer in the slot. Rolling to his right is Robinson, and David Karcher once again drops him for a loss. He has done a tremendous job on the defensive end. That's his 2nd sack this half, and it's going to move it all the way back.
Yeah, great pursuit by Wynford. Well, just about the time the offenses get rolling in this game or a big play looks to come along, the defense shuts it down. Just what we expected tonight.
4th and 27, Chris Floor in to do the punting. Gets off a nice spiral to the left side. Allspaw, he touched it. It's a live ball. And down, good hustle by Mike Hall, I believe, is back there. Let's see who gets up. No, it's number 46. That's Tracy Wren. Boy, Mark Allspaw made a gutsy play trying to field that on the run. It got by him, and it was touched. It was a live ball. And the Royals will start on their 24-yard line. Don't forget, coming up at the end of the game, we will have our Bills TV and Appliance Player of the Game. We'll be selecting one, and Bills TV and Gallion and Bucyrus sponsoring that program. And we've got a timeout for the Wynford Royals, so while they have a timeout, we'll take a pause here for a commercial break. 2:22 on the clock in the 3rd quarter. Still no score, 0-0.
Next time you're traveling on Hopley Avenue in Bucyrus, take a look at Carl's Auto and Sales and Service across from Geyer's. You'll always find a fine selection of excellent used cars with full warranties. Many of these cars come from the South. Carl's Auto also has 24-hour towing, plus a wide variety of bodywork, brake jobs, tune-ups, and they can work on foreign cars too. 22 years of service to the community assures you of a job done right. Stop at 836 Hopley Avenue, Bucyrus, or call 562-8225. Carl's Auto Sales and Service.
Welcome back to Gary Field, and the Colonel Crawford cheerleaders trying to cheer their defense on as the Royals have the ball with a 1st and 10. Ball on the 24. Shane Grove, the second back through, just powering his way for a 1st down yardage, still on his feet on the right sideline.
Shane Grove running very well on that carry. Up until this game, he had 40 carries for 121 yards, a 3-yard per gain average. Able to get 40 yards per game, but he's more crucial when you get near the goal line. He's had 2 touchdowns for the Wynford Royals this season.
It's a 14-yard pickup for Shane Grove, the junior fullback, and it's a 1st and 10, ball on the 39-yard line. Grove still in the backfield, and they go to him once again, cuts inside, and this time the defense stacks him up. Jerry Pauly, one of the defenders in there, along with Kelsey Kogi from his linebacker spot, and getting up from the bottom of the pile is Eric Sparks, or Ryan Sparks, I should say. We have called his name and number quite a bit tonight.
Jerry Pauly,
Well, the ground game not working really well for either team, but we'll notice that in this half, there have been some longer runs. Either that's a sign that the defenses are tiring or that both offensive sides are finally getting the right plays to work for them.
2nd down and 8, ball on the 42. Second back through as John Seif tripped up, and we've got a flag down as Eric Sparks. That's Steve Shemp, the ball carrier. And it's
Eric Sparks defending.
holding against the Royals. Jeff Dyer, the defensive captain for the Eagles, and I'm sure he's going to accept the penalty and move him back 10 yards.
Yeah, you have to take the penalty at this point, move it back. This will put Wynford in 2nd and 18 situation. Yeah. Well, now's the time you want to go out. You might as well try for the long ball. Yeah, you've got long yardage on 2nd down. The score is deadlocked at 0. It's been a defensive struggle. Try to break something open here in the 3rd quarter and keep it up in the 4th quarter, and that goes for both sides.
Well, the Eagles tried that the last series. It's a loss of 10, and it's a 2nd down and 18. The ball on the 30-yard line as it sent the Allspaw brothers wide to the left. There's the option play. Redmond will keep it. Cuts inside. A nice cut. And is brought down by Kelsey Kogi. So Todd Redmond so far has been the most impressive ball carrier for the Royals in limited amount of carries.
Yeah, as we'll see here on the replay, he runs the option beautifully for a high school student. Here he comes around the end. He decides to keep. He froze that outside defensive end and was able to turn it up field, and before Eric Sparks could get from behind and pull him down.
It is a 13-yard pickup, so it is a 3rd and 5, ball on the 45-yard line. Clock ticking down to 45 seconds. Redmond with Grove in the backfield along with Steve Shemp, rolls to his right, spots Shemp in the flat area, and it falls incomplete, so it brings up a 4th and 5.
Redmond's pass intended for number 33, Shemp.
Well, they need a good punt out of here, trying to put the Eagles deep. Eagles twice this quarter, 3rd quarter alone, have had good field position based on that fumbled punt return and also on Zaire's interception. So this will be the first time this half that the Eagles have really been tested.
And they send Steve Gray back to do the punting. The Royals do. Troy Schauber, you can see him on our screen, deep to do the receiving for the Colonel Crawford Eagles, and the punt will bounce in front of him, then by him, and Schauber falls on it. "28 seconds left in the 3rd quarter. You see our score deadlocked at 0, and I think it's going to come down to a big play, and if somebody gives decent enough field position, we might see a field goal attempt.
Well, the things that both sides have to be careful of is no fumbles, no interceptions. The worst you can leave this game is a tie, and a tie is much better than a loss in the column, so they've still got to keep their heads and play good, solid football.
Right side to Kevin Friend. He might pick up 1 or 2.
Of course, that doesn't stop you from going for the long ball. You've just got to make sure that it's deep enough that if it is intercepted, you have the defense, when the offense comes on, you've got them in deep territory. But right now, the Eagles have to worry most about being deep in their own territory.
And that's the sound of the gun for the 3rd quarter. As we have played 12 more minutes of football left in regulation. We could see overtime here with our score deadlocked at 0. We'll be back with the 4th quarter right after this.
To celebrate our 40th anniversary, you could choose from this 1988 RCA VCR featuring remote programming, wireless remote control, and a cable-ready tuner. It normally sells for $479.95. Now, during our 40th anniversary, it can be yours for just $294. Because of you, we're Crawford County's #1 choice TV and appliance firm. Come celebrate our 40th anniversary at Bill's TV and Appliance at the east edge of Bucyrus, or 1/2 block west of the Public Square in Uptown Galleon.
Keim Lumber of Bucyrus has just what you need to get that home of yours ready for the exciting months ahead. It's called paint, a special kind of paint called Kerfee's Colorizer. Give your home a fresher, newer look now. It's easy to do with Kerfee's Colorizer paints from Kime Lumber in Bucyrus. Kerfee's interior latex flat wall paint was tested against the top national brands for coverability, scrubability, and lasting ability. The results, Kerfee's judged best overall. As a matter of fact, no paint covered old paint better than Kerfee's. To see Kerfee's assortment over 1,000 colors, stop at Kime Lumber, 208 North Lane, Bucyrus.
And the Eagles begin the fourth quarter with the ball on the 22-yard line and a 2nd down and 8. Dyer is wide to the left, Ritz up to the right. Or make that Siebert. Fumble on a snap. Let's see who recovered it. And Wynford has recovered it. David Karcher, who has had a whale of a game, I believe, came up with the fumble recovery, number 65. And a big break for the Royals. Ball on the 20-yard line of Colonel Crawford.
Well, I said not 3 minutes ago, the teams have to keep playing solid football and not make any mistakes, and this could prove costly. This could be the play of the game if Wynford can push it in here. At a bare minimum, all they need is about 8 yards to get a decent field goal attempt off.
They keep it on the ground to Shane Grove. A big carry, still on his feet, finally brought down, but not before he picks up 7 yards. Down to the 13-yard line.
Shane Grove.
Kelsey Kogi getting up slowly for Colonel Crawford.
Shane Grove is smelling that goal line now. He wants in there badly. He's keeping those legs driving. And let's see if they don't give the ball to him on this next play. He looks fired up.
They send the Allspaws to the right. Mark wide to the right. Mike in the slot. Here's the option play. Redmond still with it. And is brought down by Kelsey Kogi and Jeff Dyer. Might have lost a half a yard on the play. And it'll bring up a 3rd and a long 4.
Not a bad play to try on that 2nd down situation. The option's been working, so of the wide plays, most of the wide plays for Wynford today, there's been nothing up the middle on either side. So it was worth a gamble to try to break something open and into the end zone. I look for him to come back here on 3rd and 3 to hand off to Grove.
And they do. Left side, Grove sidesteps, cuts back inside, and picks up first down yardage and more. Down to the 8-yard line.
Good
and
run.
The Royals are knocking on the door.
Well, in this next series, on the first play, I think you've got to hand it off. You've got to try to push it in even closer from the 8-yard line. On the second play, that's going to be determinative. Well, actually, the first one's going to determine what the second play is. Let's see how they do here on the first one. But if they don't get much yardage, I think they're going to have to pass on 2nd down.
They hand it off to Grove, who steps over 1 or 2 defenders, still on his feet, driving down to the 5-yard line. Excellent second effort by the junior fullback.
Shane Grove is an animal on this play. He keeps his legs moving, pumping right through the Colonel Crawford defense. Look at this. He's hit by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It takes 6 players eventually to bring him down on a gang tackle. He is inspired and playing as such out there on the field tonight.
It's a gain of 2, and it brings up a 2nd and goal. Ball on the 5-yard line. This is definitely 4-down territory for the Royals, known as the Crawford County Cardiac Kids, because they pulled out some ball games late in the game. Still plenty of time in this one. And Grove again steps inside, gets down to the 3. A 2-yard pickup. And the defense of the Colonel Crawford Eagles has yet to give up a touchdown.
Well, it's about 2.5
in this season.
2.5-yard line to get into the end zone here. I would think that Wynford's probably going to run that option play. It's worked for him today. Even if you get stopped, 4th down, you can at least punch it ahead, straight ahead with Grove, who's on fire right now. But look for him to spread out that defense as Crawford stacks the line with 8 men.
They keep it on the ground to Grove. He's in the end zone. A touchdown. The Wynford Royals go on top. 9:05 in the fourth quarter from 3 yards out, and the Royals have gone out on top.
Shane Grove, the big 6'2", 220-pound fullback for Wynford Royals, going straight ahead on that one. I missed that particular call, but he sure did smell that goal line, and he got over it. Great drive on the turnover by Wynford Royals, capitalizing on the Crawford mistakes.
Now the all-important extra point, Steve Gray Sipes the holder. Snap is down, kick is away, and it's blocked. I think he had no trajectory on that kick at all.
I think he slipped a little on the kick, Tony. It looked like when he came through, his foot slid on the field. As it gets colder tonight, it's also getting a little bit damp and moist out on the field. And I think he just lost his footing a little bit.
So the PAT is blocked, and the Royals still up by 6. 9:05 to go. We'll be back with the kickoff right after this.
Let Beaver Office Products be your party supply headquarters for whatever type of party you're planning. At Beaver, you can find everything from paper plates to napkins, tablecloths, decorations, and favors. The next time you entertain, go to Beaver Office Products and check out their party supplies. And of course, Beaver is still your office equipment headquarters. They carry the top lines in calculators, typewriters, word processors, and copiers. Beaver Office Products in Bucyrus, Marion, Mansfield, Findlay, and Fremont.
Well, after the turnover, the Royals moved 20 yards. Shane Grove, the final, with a 3-yard run, and the PAT blocked, so it's a 6-0 Wynford Royals lead. Remember last year it was 7-0 Wynford, and Grove make that. Steve Gray has teed it up. Back deep is Brian Siebert and Troy Schauber for the Eagles. It's to the right and to Siebert's direction. Picks it up on the 15 and is hit by Shane Sands.
Boy, he
at
was
the 30-yard line.
Siebert was popped. He did get a good run back, though, as he brings it up over the 5, 10, 20 near the 30-yard line, just across it. Good run back by Siebert, but boy, when he got nailed, he got hit.
8:57 on the clock. The Royals are up by 6 with the Eagles on the 31-yard line. Clock to the left. Dyer to the right. Dyer now in motion to the left. Quick pitch to Siebert, and is wrapped up by Tony Stover from the defensive end spot. He's going to lose 2 on the play.
Well, we're going to see here on the replay, this is a good idea with a quick pitch to Siebert. Siebert's been running well, we see on that last kickoff, but he can't get outside. Quick reaction, that looked like the outside linebacker shooting in there and making the tackle. Good response by this fine defensive Wynford squad.
Tony Stover in a 2-point stance from his defensive end spot, and it brings up a 2nd and 12 on the loss of 2. Quarterback sneak. Mark Robinson will pick a bundle there. 8 yards on the play, make that 10. So just a quarterback sneak caught the Wynford defense off guard.
Kind of surprising since nothing's been given up the middle so far today, but apparently Wynford has been keying on the running backs and forgot all about the quarterbacks. So caught them off guard. What a great time to have 3rd and 2, because Wynford's not sure whether they're going to run for the first down or surprise them with the pass. Let's see what they do.
On a 3rd and 2, they send Flock to the left, Dyer to the right, give it to their bread and butter back. That's Kevin Friend, still fighting for yardage. He's going to be awfully close. Maybe short.
Well, a big decision if he's short. Do you go for the first down? I think you have to. Down 6-0, as tough as this game has been. You're near midfield. You've got to rely on your defense. It's been your strength this far in the season, and that's what they're...
And they're sending in Chris Floyd, so it looks like they're going to punt it, or at least line up in the punt formation.
Yeah.
It's a 4th and 1.
Good point, lining up in the punt formation. Maybe we're going to see a trick play here.
Well, the Royals don't have anybody back deep.
Watch Siebert.
So they're waiting for it too, and Chris Floyd will kick it away. And an excellent punt down the left sideline, takes an Eagles roll, and will be downed on the 20-yard line by Tim Flock. So with 6:41 left on the clock, the Royals will take over 1st and 10 from the 20-yard line, leading by 6 when we come back.
This is Stacy. Stacy, these are the people out in TV land. Stacy is very spoiled and only wants her way. She'll have nothing less than the best. Not only is she finicky about what kind of food she eats, but what kind of car she plays race car driver in. Here is her average car. Notice what we have to do to get her into it. We have to bribe her. Here is a Ford Taurus wagon from Jack Steele Ford. Certainly not the least bit average. Notice what we didn't have to do to get her into it. Now let's see what I have to do to get her out of it. And we asked Stacy to tell us just how important her Ford is. And if you can't believe that, what can you believe? Jack Steele Ford, Route 309 on the east side of Galleon.
Anytime you deal with a financial institution, you look at more than numbers. At Farmer Citizens Bank, you count on the friendly staff to assist you with your needs in checking, savings, certificates of deposit, money market certificates. And from time to time, a help with a loan is necessary, and Farmer Citizens can help there, too. Loans on new and used cars, home improvement loans, home loans, and more. The friendly staff is waiting to serve you at Farmer Citizens' 2 offices on Washington Square and on North Sandusky. Member FDIC.
Well, Mike Cawley, the head coach of Colonel Crawford, is relying on his defense here. They had a 4th and 1. They didn't go for it. They punted the ball, and he's hoping his defense will hold the Royals here, pinned in their 20-yard line. Second back through is John Seif, and he's going to pick up maybe 5 on the carry. Kelsley Kogi in on the tackle, along with Mickey Zwire from his cornerback spot.
Well, I suppose that Mike Cawley is thinking here that punt, let his defense do the work deep in the Wynford territory. A gutsy move on his part, and on that first drive, it doesn't pay off as they come right out and bang out 8 yards.
It's an 8-yard pickup, and you're right, it brings up a 2nd and 2, ball on the 28-yard line.
Aside from Wynford here, time is your enemy. We're under 6 minutes now, so Colonel Crawford defense has to dig down deep if they're going to stop Wynford.
Straight drop back, a surprise, they're going deep with it. And Mark Allspaw, the intended receiver, but overthrown by Todd Redmond. Not a bad play call to catch the Eagles off guard. I'm sure they were expecting it to come up the gut or outside on the ground, and Zwire did a good job of staying home.
Excellent play call, because on short yardage, 2nd down, thinking that they're ahead, they would play a little conservative and run out the clock. Going for that moment of surprise was the Wynford Royals. Didn't quite pay off, but a good call nonetheless.
3rd down, they send Colton Bayless to the right, Scott Ziegler to the left, and Shane Grove rides the line of scrimmage, and it will be close to a 1st down if, let's see where they mark it. Eagles did a good job of stringing him out. I think they're going to call the chains in. Officials timeout.
We're going to see on this particular plane, Wynford really gets a break here. Crawford almost creating that turnover. There you see the ball loose. It squirts out of there, and an alert lineman jumps on that ball. What a break for Wynford. Crawford would have had excellent field position had they gotten the ball there.
And a 1st down by the Royals.
Instead, we have a 1st down situation, and Wynford keeps the drive alive. And more importantly, Tony, the clock keeps ticking.
So with 5:17 on the clock, the Royals are 1st and 10 from the 30-yard line, and they're just going to keep taking their time and take as much time in that huddle as possible. Leading by 6. Come up to the line of scrimmage with Redmond at quarterback. Ziegler wide to the right, and we've got a delay of game on the Royals. You saw that one coming as they just took too long in the huddle. So it'll back them up 5 and bring up a 1st and 15.
Well, the Wynford coach may be electing to run some time off that clock. Let's see if they continue to do it. It's going to depend on how well they do on the plays, though. There's still plenty of time that Crawford gets that ball back around midfield to get a drive and get that ball into the end zone.
Well, his defense, he's got to have a lot of confidence in him. They have shut the Eagles down this afternoon or this evening. Shane Grove, the ball carrier, didn't pick up much, if any.
Number 45, Shane Grove.
Eagles have to stop this drive. Time is ticking off too quickly. They've got to make the best use of it. And the thing is, you need to conserve your timeouts for your offense. And we're going to see a passing attack from the Eagles if they get the ball back from Mark Robinson, the leading passer in the NCC. So the burden will be on his shoulders if they can get the ball back. And that's what they have to worry about now, is stopping Wynford on this drive.
And they give it to the second back through. John Seif, the ball carrier, he's not going to pick up much. And it was a 3rd and 15. The clock is now 3rd and 13. Clock is down to 4 minutes in the 3-minute area. So the clock is definitely in the Royals' favor, and they are taking as much time as possible as they get the play in from the sideline.
Well, let's see if they choose to keep it on the ground and run off the clock, or if they try to, in fact, go for the first down with the pass.
It's a quarterback sneak by Todd Redmond. He's not going to pick up a first down. He's going to pick up 3 on the play. It'll bring up a 4th and 10. And a punting situation for the Royals.
Well,
so the Eagles will have time on the clock when they get the ball back.
The Royals are smart here. They'll take the delay of game penalty, have it move back 5 yards, and then punt it.
So Troy Schaubert back deep for the Eagles on a 4th and 10. Steve Gray back to do the punting. Snap is good. Kick is away. It's down the right sideline. Fielded by Tim Flock. And the Royals really have good field position, or the Eagles, I should say, on the 45-yard line. 2:59 on the clock. You see our score. It's Wynford 6, Colonel Crawford nothing. We'll be back. Well, a 1st and 10 from the 45 for the Eagles. They need big plays. Robinson rolling to his left. Siebert, incomplete. And I tell you, Jeff Dyer was wide open underneath and behind the coverage. And if he comes back to the huddle and says, Mark, I was open there, they might run that play again.
Well, it's a tough thing to see when you're rolling out to your left side. He was across field towards the middle. And, of course, on a rollout, you've only got those receivers over on the left side of the field that are within your vision. And that time, Siebert almost hauling in that pass, just slipping through his fingers.
They send Siebert and Dyer wide to the left again. Robinson rolls that way, single setback. And this time they do go deep. And it is incomplete, almost picked off by Colton Bayless. And Steve Schimpf back there on coverage. And that time, I think both of them went to the same area. Miscommunication. I'm sure one was supposed to cut up a little bit shorter. And it brings up a 3rd and 10 for the Eagles.
They've
got to need a first down badly here. Clock is stopped at 2:43.
If they've got a trick play in their pocket, this is the time to use it. Probably the best thing to do is to send your wide receivers all the way down the field and then throw underneath the coverage onto a running back out of the backfield. You've got to get the first down. You've got to maintain this drive. Going for the long ball here will kill you because Wynford can get the ball back and just simply eat up the clock.
Siebert now the lone setback. It's Flock and Dyer to the left. And a halfback back to Robinson. Downfield, and it's incomplete. Steve Ritzoff had it fall incomplete, and there's your trick play, Jeff. And it didn't go.
Beautifully executed by Colonel Crawford. The problem is that the ball is dropped, as we see here on the replay. It's moving every direction. Moving to the left side, Siebert turns around and he passes behind him, which allows for another forward pass because the initial pass from Siebert was behind the line and not forward. Great trick play, but it doesn't quite work.
And Colonel Crawford wants to talk things over. 2:35, they're faced with a 4th and 10, trailing by 6 on their own 45-yard line. And we'll take a timeout. We'll be back. Well, there's a shot of the Wynford cheerleaders, and Dan Cook, the offensive coordinator, has talked things over with his offense. They send Dyer wide to the left, Lock to the right. Robinson rolling to his left, scrambles. Shane Sand misses him downfield, and incomplete. The Royals will take over at the Eagles' 45-yard line. 2:29 left on the clock.
Robinson scrambling everywhere, just could not find a receiver open. There were at least 6 players back for Wynford in good zone coverage, able to shut that play down.
Good pressure by the Royals defense. Shane Sand for defensive end.
Crawford has to go in and try to strip the ball now. You know, as a given, that Wynford is going to keep that ball on the ground, and they're going to try to chew up that clock and the yardage. Crawford needs to go on the hits to get their defensive players to try to strip that ball out of their hands.
Quarterback sneak for Todd Redmond. I don't think the Eagles have any more timeouts left. I'm not sure, but I think they might have used their full allotment this half. And Wynford will just be content to try to run out the clock as Redmond picks up 4 on the carry. It brings up a 2nd and 6. 2 minutes left in this ball game. And as you said, the Eagles need a big play here to try to get the ball back. And credit the Royals defense. They have done an excellent job of shutting down a high-powered Eagles offense. And you see Colton Bayless just back trying to make sure nothing happens in case there's a fumble. And I don't think the Eagles can stop the clock with 1:41.
Well, they have 1 left.
Oh, that was their last time out then. So with 1:40, a 3rd and 5. Now let's remember what happened to Cincinnati and San Francisco in their game with 2 seconds left when Cincinnati pulled it out. Or San Francisco, I should say, pulled it out.
Well, you got to have a miracle here. That's all that really Crawford can hang their hat on. They've got to stop them on this play. Looking at the clock situation, you're at 1:40 now. Take about 7 seconds for the play. Take another 30 seconds. You're down to a minute. 4th down, another 40 seconds. That gives you about 20 seconds to work with for the end of the game. So it's going to take some Hail Mary passes from Mark Robinson, the leading passer in the conference, and he's really going to have to prove himself that he's worthy of that tonight, if they should even get the ball back. Remember, if there's a 1st down, you can write this game over.
So with 1:40 on the clock, it is a 3rd and 5 for the Royals. They hold them on 2 plays. There will be some time left on the clock. 1:40. Todd Redmond is the quarterback. Colton Bayless playing center field, I guess you would call it. Redmond, a long snap. Second back through is Shane Grove. Still riding, carrying 5 Colonel Crawford defenders.
And more.
And they stop him knock him out of bounds to stop the clock.
But the clock's still running.
Well, it's still running. He must not have gotten out of bounds.
Boy, that could.
Well, now they stop it, so there was at least 5 or 6 seconds off the clock before they stopped it.
Yeah, that's going to be costly to Crawford. Amazingly, Wynford running the ball out of bounds. What a big play there for Crawford. Not only just stopping the play and keeping them from the 1st down, but getting them out of bounds and stopping that clock.
On a 4th and 4. The Royals send Steve Gray back into punt formation. Nobody back deep for the Eagles. They're going to come full tilt. And it's a fake. And it's short of a 1st down, I believe. Well, no, they're going to mark it as near 1st down territory.
It's going to be close. Here, we're going to see this on the replay. Here we go. We're going to see what a great trick play. They hike it in there to the middle man, the 3rd man in the backfield. He finds that opening, and look at him struggle to get that yardage. I think on his initial fall, he did not have the 1st down.
It's going to be awfully close. There's the ball, and it's a Royals 1st down, and that might seal this victory for Coach Greg Filiator.
And that's why they call this a game of inches. Right there, that decided the game.
It might have come close. 1:18, 17, the clock is running.
So all they have to do is fall on the ball, and that's the game. And I'm sure that's what they're going to be doing. That's all they did in the last series.
So Redmond, I'm sure, will just fall on it, and he does. His own players surround him.
Well, we knew it would be a defensive battle tonight. 6-0 certainly indicates that on the scoreboard. And even though Colonel Crawford has lost the game this season, they still have a fine squad and still can do well in the NCC. They certainly have shown that here tonight despite the loss. And for the Wynford Royals, well, what can you say? They came against a tough opponent. They're not on their home field. They came to visit, and they walk away with the win. That shows a lot about that team and its intestinal fortitude to go ahead in the rest of the season.
So for the 2nd straight year, the Royals are going to come away with a shutout against the Colonel Crawford Eagles. 15 seconds, the clock is winding down. And Wynford is going to go to 3-1 on the season. And if we can get a shot at Greg Filliater on the other side, he is very happy. In the center of the field, well, instead we go with cheerleaders. And the Royals, there you see them. Jubilation. Greg Filliater, the Royals head coach, is now 3-0 against Mike Cawley. A pair of shutouts to boot. 6-0 is our final score, and our Player of the Game award is going to go to David Karcher, the Royals linebacker, who had an excellent game, a pair of sacks, and a fumble recovery that led to a touchdown for the Royals, and it has been a defensive struggle. We'll be back to wrap things up. Final score.